At the edge of the forest, the ancient city sleeps beneath the stars. Its citizens, once proud and virtuous, now driven to depravity by a magical curse. Will a stranger from a distant land be able to save them and undo their terrible affliction? Or will the dream turn into an endless nightmare and trap her in eternal sleep? Momodora Reverie Under the Moonlight is an action platformer where you play as a priestess who has traveled to a distant land to try and remove the dangerous curse that has trapped its residents. Now, the game plays in traditional Metroidvania style, with you being able to explore large, interconnected levels while battling enemies and searching for secrets. When in combat, you have at your disposal a close-range melee attack as well as a long-range bow and arrow attack, which allows you to engage your opponents at whatever distance you deem necessary. Defeating enemies rewards you with money, which you can use to purchase new items and equipment from vendors that are scattered around the levels, and exploring allows you to uncover secrets such as new power-ups and abilities. The levels are designed around traditional Metroidvania platforming. The levels are filled with spikes and traps, as well as certain obstacles that will require you to return later on with special abilities in order to circumvent. Each level culminates in an over-the-top boss battle, and these are often the hardest parts of the game, requiring you to use all your accumulated skills and abilities in order to overcome them. Now, what are the good things about Momodora? Well, for one, I really like the style. It's got a pixelated aesthetic, but this works really well for a Metroidvania platformer. It's never hard to distinguish enemies from the backgrounds, and the levels do a good job of differentiating themselves. Now, the other good thing about the game, and possibly the more important point, is that the combat is very tight. Unlike most Metroidvania games, you have a dodge roll at your disposal, which allows you to get past or move to the other side of enemies and projectiles. This, combined with your inherent ability to make both close and long-range attacks, means that enemies, especially bosses, are free to be much more lively with their attacks. There are a lot of big screen-clearing boss battles, and knowing when to attack as well as when to dodge and reading your enemy's patterns are a big part of the game's strategy. Now, for the downsides of the game, even though the levels look good and play well, they don't exactly have the best design. Now, there is an in-game map, but it doesn't do a good job of giving you clues or information about where you need to go in order to unlock your next boss fight or special ability. For instance, early on, water is used as a barrier, defining the edges of a level where if you accidentally touch the surface, it's an instant death. Until later on when you head into the dungeons and find an entire underwater area that deals no damage whatsoever. A better example might be how you cannot even defeat the final boss until you unlock a specific collection of special items that require rigorous backtracking in order to obtain. Also, and this is a minor complaint, the game's a little short, only about 5 to 6 hours max, and even less if you're doing a speedrun. Still, on the upside, I suppose it means that the game doesn't overstay its welcome. In the end, I would give Momodora Reverie Under the Moonlight 3 out of 4 stars, and my recommendation. It may not have the smoothest level design, but if you want a Metroidvania game that has tight, responsive combat compared to others in its genre, then this is probably one to look into. Okay then, thanks for listening, and remember, Moonlight makes madness, so stay safe out there. Till next time.